أما والذي حج الحجيج لبيته ولبوا له عند المهل وأحرموا وقد طأطأوا تلك الرؤوس تواضعا.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to today's program. It's a special focus on the SANZAF Qurbani project. With me in studio are two very important guests. First is Uncle Tara, that's Mr. Yusuf Tara Sidat, but he's popularly known in the community as Uncle Tara. Some people also call him Uncle T. And next to him is Brother Mohammed Siddiq Parker, who is the National Coordinator of SANZAF. Assalamu alaikum, gentlemen, and welcome to the studio.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Jazakallah for having us here, and Jazakallah, and thank you to your viewers.
Jazakallah, Hassan, for having us here, and of course to your viewers here.
Let me begin by speaking to you, Uncle Tara. Briefly tell us the history of SANZAF. Why was SANZAF founded, and why did you find it necessary to found this organization?
جزاك الله خير. نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم وبعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته again. Sheikh Hassan, alhamdulillah, we are first want to praise and thank Allah Azza wa Jal through His mercy and Qudrat. People had great vision some 40 years ago during the apartheid days when things were tough. That how do we engage with people to collect the zakahs, the sadaqahs and fitras and so forth and distribute it to the poor and needy. So it's along these lines, some of these people have passed on, others are still here, some are active, some are inactive. But alhamdulillah, we come a long way from the time in the 1974 when this thing started. I remember the first, we were told, I'm not 40 years with the organization, I'm 16 years with the organization, but alhamdulillah, they started, things were tough. Alhamdulillah. Currently, while there's a paradigm shift that's taken place, it's purely because of transparency. You find that anything that is transparent, people want to be there. You show your figures and what you do, where you spend it and so forth. So alhamdulillah, we come a long way from there.
SANZAF is involved in a lot of projects, especially poverty alleviation projects and educational projects. Tell us about some of these projects that the organization is involved in.
Firstly, just to get to the viewers, we've got to mark the anniversary of SANZAF. It started in 1974. It's going to be 40 years old, alhamdulillah. And of course, just to mention a few of its projects within the poverty alleviation sector, we've got Operation Fitra, Winter Warmth, Qurbani, water wells, feeding schemes, and so forth. Yeah. And at this point, we've just come out of Ramadan. We've had a huge Fitra project, and which Uncle Tara was very much involved in at that point, yeah?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, we want to praise again, thank Allah Ta'ala, that we collected in excess of 3.3 million rand this year for the Fitra. Also, it's unique. I mean, we have winter warmth and so forth, where we get not only blankets, but warm clothing and so forth as well, alhamdulillah. You will find that we go out to the people. The people are wanting. You'll find people are sleeping in the streets. There were times we did a show on SABC. They came to us, just listen, we've got a problem. Early in the morning, just before Fajr. And you go there and the people are shaking and shivering, And you look at them and say, hey, hold on, man, this is tough here going, So yes, some of our projects, Fitra was really absolutely good. We contributed, we distributed in food parcels to the value of about 5 million rand. So this is national, of course, and that will be in Gauteng, in Western Cape, Eastern Cape, KZN, and so forth. So yes, we want to thank Allah Ta'ala again that was just awesome relief. And we say again, Jazakallah for the people who participate with us.
I like your motto of SANZAF. You say, it's better to teach a man how to fish other than giving him a fish. Why did you guys decide to come up with this kind of motto?
Well, this particular motto came out because ongoingly we hear the Rasul of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam approached somebody, a Sahabi came to him and he says, I need money. He says, what do you need money for, whatever it is? And We got a chopper, they went and they chopped the wood and so forth. So it is imperative, it's absolutely important to show people how to get, because until and unless you don't have a begging bowl, is a bowl where it's a bottomless pit. There's no end to that. But if you teach him, because every person that's got no money, they have dignity. And we should not impact negatively on the integrity by pushing them away. The Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam encouraged the poor, and the poor are the people who embraces the deen of Allah Ta'ala. So we go out there and we assist them and we develop them. That's important, to develop them. We ask them, what can you do? I can do cooking, I was a carpenter in my old days and so forth. So alhamdulillah, this is where we says, don't give them the fish, but tell them how to catch the fish.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
The saying, give them the rod instead, yeah?
Absolutely. Tell us about some of the poverty alleviation projects that SANZAF is involved in, of course, with this saying that it's better to teach a man how to fish instead of giving him the fish. Mm-hmm. You've been helping business people, training them how to start businesses, and also giving bursaries to young students.
SANZAF has established facilitating, I would say, offices with regards to what you just mentioned in terms of employment. And of course, when we're talking about the business programs and so forth, it's not that SANZAF would just say, here's X amount of money and you can start your business. First, there's certain criteria that you have to meet. One in particular, which is very important, is that SANZAF would then put the applicant through a course, a business course, and make sure that it's not just, it just doesn't end where SANZAF hands over and say, off you go. SANZAF makes sure that the applicant itself is able to fend for itself, knows how to run the business, and then inshallah, alhamdulillah, if when all works out, would be able to contribute back into society, yeah. So those are one of the key points in terms of business development that we have, and it's of course full-time and national. The other one, of course, is our bursary program, which is very big with SANZAF, and we've got students that have been on our programs for ages, and alhamdulillah, doctors and lawyers and people from all different professions have walked out of these bursaries, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, and of course, let's now go for a short break, and inshallah, when we come back, we continue discussing about the SANZAF Operation Qurbani, of course, being the main theme of this show.
أما والذي حج الحجيج لبيته ولبوا له عند المهل وأحرموا وقد طأطأوا تلك الرؤوس تواضعا أما والذي حج الحجيج لبيته ولبوا له عند المهل وأحرموا وقد طأطأوا تلك الرؤوس تواضعا.
Welcome back. You're still tuned on ITV, and we're still talking about the Qurbani special project by SANZAF. And with me in studio are the two very important guests, Uncle Tara as well as Mohammed Siddiq. Uncle Tara, tell us, before we went for the break, we were speaking about the poverty alleviation projects. Now, tell us about the history of Qurbani.
Alhamdulillah, the Qurbani is running for with SANZAF close to about 23, 24 years now already. But year on year, it has gained momentum. And so did poverty get momentum at the same time, So alhamdulillah, it's a great sunnah of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. Everybody knows the way of viewing. That Allah told Ibrahim alayhi salam, listen, you have to do this, slaughter your son and all of those things. So we have taken this up very passionately. And we ensure that we go out and cut the animals at the right sizes, the right ages, and so forth. But I think, let me tell Siddiq just to give you a little more overview on that.
Yes. Thanks, Uncle Tara. Qurbani started back in 1990, from what we have recorded. So, alhamdulillah, this year marks the 23rd year in Qurbani. We've got local Qurbani as well as Southern African Qurbani. Local, of course, would take place throughout the country, from Gauteng to KwaZulu-Natal, Eastern Cape, Western Cape, and so forth. When we make reference to Southern Africa, it's of course your Malawi and Mozambique. Malawi, we perform in an area called the Lower Shiri Valley, in a town called Ngabu. We've been based there for years. We've got our infrastructure in place. We've got partnered up with farms. So animals do belong to us, before we do. The interesting factor is, Hassan Bhai, is that Qurbani for us at SANZAF starts not closest to the time. Merely, it's about 2.5, 3 months when we first do a census with all the village headmen. That's important because it gives us a framework as to our distribution. And we always maintain our distribution is the most important of all, that everyone gets their fair share of portion. And when we're talking about a census, as that we engage the services of the village headman to basically tell us exactly how many families are within his respective villages, and of course the family composition of each family. So when we do the distribution for Qurbani, it's not that a family with a composition of 3 members would get the same portion as a family of 7 members. Hence, we've introduced the voucher system. So what happens is all recipients would get vouchers. Yeah. Once again, our teams normally arrive in Malawi prior to, of course, Qurbani itself. First day of their arrival would be inspections of all the animals, the sites. And like I said to you, our infrastructure is already in place. So it's purely a clean-up of what we've had the previous year. Once again, it's not just slaughtering and distributing. There's a lot of infrastructure that takes place, logistics that takes place. One in particular is when we're going out to the villages to distribute said Qurbani, and that's the amazing part. But Ankatara will make reference to especially when we go for Eid Namaz, and we've just finished Eid Namaz, and the joy and the happiness that you find when you're coming out, as you can see the 2 young girls on the screen. We've just, and this picture here, we just finished off with Eid Namaz, and this is what you see, within the villages itself. And maybe Ankatara can just input a little bit here, as to, these are on the distribution paths, where of course we have distributions allocated at masjids and at villages.
Yeah, most of these people, they come with their, like Siddiq said, with the cars and all of those things. But absolutely brilliant is the people, they wait. There was one incident, it happened once, where we took relief Qurbani meat to people, and they said we needed about 200 or something. So we went there were about 300 people. So where are they coming from? Then we went to 300. So sometimes we get into a very heated argument sometimes. We know what pays poverty and then so forth. So alhamdulillah, you can see here also now. Most of these people, this is the imam of the masjid. It's a thatch masjid. The first time when we went there some time ago, there's no musallas there. So they found
it was raining. It was raining.
Yeah. They found some.
It was raining.
Musalla. We said, no, we don't want musallas. When we read like you.
It's also important to understand, with SANZAF itself, like I said to you, the 2 sectors in terms of local Qurbani, which Gauteng has at 1,200 rands. And of course, it's dependent on the region itself. Some regions would come in at about 1,100 to about 1,400 rands. Once again, dependent on the region itself. However, Malawi, Mozambique, nationwide is 350 rands. But the nice part is that, Hassan, we've attached the Qurbani to the Masjid Waqf Fund. So whenever anyone purchases a Qurbani or performs a Qurbani through SANZAF, 10 rands of his Qurbani goes towards the Masjid Waqf. And it's what we like to call one donation, 2 niyyah, multiple rewards. And if we go back to Malawi itself, there's no fighting. I mean, and once again for the viewers' benefit, SANZAF performs 10,000 Qurbanis every year. 10,000. And we are fortunate to be able to feed close to 350,000 people. It's not a small project, it's a big project. And in fact, we invite everyone to be part of this event. Am I right?
100%. We find the villages will come, the headmen will come, they will participate. On the first day of Qurbani, we might slaughter close to about 4,000 or 5,000 goats, for example. You see all the villagers will come there, they will cut it and make it into pieces and what have you. So for the next day, all the preparations are done already. And the headman will come there and say, they've got cards, numbers, and what must they do and what they must do. Mm-hmm. We think, no, these people are all ignorant people. On the contrary, not. Poor people also has got dignity and all of those things. So alhamdulillah, it's an amazing, amazing, amazing thing. Look, for the last 16 years, our Amir, for 24 years or 18 years or whatever it was, we don't have eat at home. And our families are only too eager to say, listen, we are all part and parcel of the barakah that they come out of there, you understand? So we are honored and we're privileged. And Allah has afforded this opportunity to be amongst those that are in need. And the viewers, we ask you please to make continuously lots of dua for us. That you do it in a manner in which is part of the sunnah, the correct way, the appropriate way, and distribute it in a manner in which we give dignity to people.
Ameen, inshallah. Let's go for a quick ad break, and inshallah when we come back, we continue with our discussion about the SANZAF Qurbani project.
أما والذي حج الحجيج لبيته ولبوا له عند المهل وأحرموا وقد طأطأوا تلك الرؤوس تواضعا أما والذي حج الحجيج لبيته ولبوا له عند المهل وأحرموا وقد طأطأوا تلك الرؤوس تواضعا.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to our special program, the SANZAF Qurbani project, and with me two important guests still with me in studio, Uncle Tara, as well as Brother Mohammed Sadiq. Uncle Tara, while we were, before we went for the break, we were speaking about the Qurbani in Malawi. So let's very quickly get a comment from Brother Mohammed. Tell us what is involved in terms of hygiene.
Look, Brother Hassan, first of all, just on our slideshow, this is a typical Qurbani site. And what is important for all viewers to know that, our Purda facilities in between the slaughtering pits are within Sharia context. Yeah. So the animals will not be in view of another whilst being slaughtered. That's number one. In fact, our drainage system it took a long time for us to put in place to make sure everything is according to Sharia. And that is important. It's an important factor. Another factor that all viewers should also understand is that besides the SANZAF team going out there to perform the said Qurbanis and so forth, we also involve the local Jamaat to be present whilst we do this. We have the halal authority of the respective areas present. And the important factor is that we have the veterinary department present. And they do an inspection of these said animals prior to Qurbani and, of course, after it has been slaughtered. And if we go back a few years ago, which was amazing, and the veterinary department inspected one of the carcasses and they felt that, it was maybe, I think there was suspicion of yellow jaundice. Can you imagine that? The carcass was then thrown one side. In fact, they destroyed the carcass, and of course we made zabah of another animal to fulfill that Qurbani itself. And of course, once again, we ask viewers to come in and pick up their phones, especially on our pledge line that takes place this Sunday, the 6th of October, starting at 3 o'clock. And this is the nice part about it. Once you've pledged your Qurbani at the ITV studios, you are then awarded the opportunity to go live to Makkah, to be able to send greetings to your family and friends and all loved ones on Hajj. And this is what we want all the viewers to do. Please, we ask you, first of all, we want you to partake in this event. It's a pledge and greet that's happening this Sunday. It's a SANZAF pledge and greet, Operation Qurbani. We want you to be part of it. Am I right, Uncle T?
It is the first time, I repeat, it's the first time where we have a live coverage from South Africa right into Makkah Mukarramah, into Azizia. And as Siddiq was saying, it's a unique, absolutely unique opportunity. Once you pledge your Qurbani, which is wajib, and then you have the opportunity to speak or greet your loved ones. It's something that never happened. It's very exciting. So please, those that are viewing, tell your families and your friends that on Sunday at 3 p.m., not a.m., a.m. you must make tahajjud, 3 p.m., ensure that you tell your family and your friends that 100%, you will meet up with your families in Makkah Mukarramah and you'll be able to greet them. Let us tell you again, it's on Sunday, 3 p.m., live from South Africa, right into Makkah Mukarramah, into Azizia. Jazakallah.
Absolutely. And before we end the program, maybe you'd like to remind the viewers how would they, there are those who would like to pay maybe anonymously or would like to pay through banks. What are the banking details of SANZAF and how much does it cost for a Qurbani?
Okay. If, all viewers can log on to our website, which is www.sanzaf.org.za. All details are there, and of course, with the respective provinces, any donor will be coming from. At the same time, our numbers would appear on the website as well. Of course, it would differ from region to region. And then, of course, our bottom line is that we want people to partake in this event. Not only are we looking at a live feed to Makkah this coming Sunday, where you can greet all your loved ones and so forth. What we have also established this year is a live feed from the Qurbani sites. It's never been done before. From the Qurbani sites, whether we are in Southern Africa or local Africa itself, South Africa itself, from all the sites that Qurbani is being taken place with regards to SANZAF, it will be live on ITV. That's one. Number two, after that, we would have on the hour a live upload to our site as to what is happening on the Qurbani sites. So we're inviting everyone to take part in this great event.
Amazing, amazing. Really, this is something never happened. And let's hope that we are targeting plus minus 7,000 Qurbanis.
On Sunday.
On Sunday. But every cent will be worth it. Something you've never seen, you've never experienced. So glued to your television, Sunday, 3 o'clock, ITV, Jazakallah.
Well, as you've heard it from Uncle Tara, as well as Brother Mohammed Siddiq from SANZAF, tune in on Sunday at 3 p.m. as they conduct their live pledge for the Qurbani. And inshallah, when you pledge for your Qurbani, you get an opportunity to speak to your family in Makkah Mukarramah. From me, Hassan Islo, and the entire team, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما حتى تنالوا جنة ونعيما 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 صلوا عليه